Got some updates regarding Tesla, and it's worth talking about because even in the face of the banking crisis, and yes, Tesla stock is falling under $200 per share, it bounced off about that 175 level. Intraday, we briefly went under 175 just a few days ago, and it kind of been staying above it, which is really good because that's an important retracement level. And what is some of the news regarding the latest at Tesla? Well, of course, a first big Financial Times article this morning talking about Elon Musk's cost-cutting measures and how in the long term, these, while in the short term are creating a lot of drama and fear, in the long term will help get Twitter to profitability, hopefully as soon as Q2 or Q3 of this year, which is fantastic. Well, that's exactly what Tesla shareholders want to hear because we know that Tesla stock is Elon Musk's piggy bank. In other news, Tesla applied to expand the Gigafactory Berlin. They're now claiming that they can do so without actually increasing the necessary water usage. That's actually a big deal. They're trying to get to 1 million vehicles per year at this facility, but they've been running into a lot of application delays due to essentially individuals in the neighborhood and politicians restricting permitting due to concerns over water consumption, specifically environmental groups. Tesla Giga Berlin has a goal of about 5K cars per week. Production started late 2021. The company manufactures the Y and 3 there. In good news, the Model Y just actually became the best-selling vehicle in Europe, outpacing other vehicles by the tune of somewhere around 40%, which was pretty incredible. Model Y, in my opinion, is actually probably the most desirable out of the Tesla vehicles. I do think you a little bit overpay for the S and X, which I own both the S and X, so I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot by saying that. And I think the Model 3 is so close in price to the Model Y that unless there's a specific reason to get the 3, I think the Y is a great deal. Volkswagen did just announce an ID2, a $25,000 mass market car, and a smaller battery, 2-door sedan. I'll actually show you some pictures of it. Elon Musk replied in a tweet and wrote pretty good in response to Volkswagen announcing this vehicle. Now, the joke about that is the vehicle won't actually be available until 2025. It claims front-wheel drive, $25,000 price to go on sale in 2025. The vehicle looks like this. You can see this on screen here to see what the vehicle looks like. This is the ID2. 4 pictures here. Shows very, very Tesla-esque interior with that center console, forward console. Again, this is the Volkswagen's newly announced ID2. This is not actually expected to go on sale until 2025, which again, that makes you wonder, like, really? That's it's going to be a while. If it starts going on sale in 2025, that means probably not actually producing until 2026. And the reality is, a lot of the legacy autos have really cool visions for concept cars, but it takes them absolutely forever to actually deliver. I doubt Volkswagen is actually going to. Here's how about this? Let's make a deal. Somebody will have to remind me. Remind me in 2025. If Volkswagen actually delivers this vehicle for under $25,000 MSRP, we'll say, not going to include taxes, in 2025, I will buy $100 of Volkswagen stock. So that would be impressive. I just don't believe it. Elon Musk has also, along with Tesla, have also now opened the first V4 superchargers. Now, if you thought the previous V3 supercharger, there we go. If you thought the previous V3 superchargers were fast, these V4 superchargers are about 40% faster. 350 kilowatts of power versus 250. Absolutely incredible. There are also now rumors, well, potentially not rumors. This is actually something circulating on Twitter. Apparently, Cadillac has reportedly been trying to poach Tesla owners in China, offering them substantial discounts on the Cadillac Lyriq. And they're doing this by Tesla chargers. They're also sending text messages to Tesla owners from Cadillac. Here, for example, are some photos. This is a Tesla supercharging station. You see the Caddy on the left side there. Branded Cadillac. There it is, the Cadillac Lyriq. Here's video. Let's see here. Somebody driving by. Yeah. Test Drive the Caddy by the Tesla Superchargers. Shout out to this person, by the way, Jay in Shanghai, who posted this content. He calls this shameless cold calling by Cadillac. I mean, honestly, I can't really blame them. I think it's kind of funny, actually. It just, like, the PR of Cadillac trying to convince Tesla owners at the Tesla Superchargers, in my opinion, is priceless. Like, it's hilarious Tesla PR. It's actually fantastic. It's like if somebody really wants to leave Tesla and go buy another car, go for it. They'll be back. Anyway, Elon Musk also said at an investor conference hosted by Morgan Stanley, again, this is sort of reiterating, we covered this last week as well, but again, on Twitter, they're planning on cutting their non-debt expenditures down to $1.5 billion and hoping they could be cash flow positive by the second or third quarter. Talked about that already, so sorry for repeating that. Let's see here. The Elon Musk also has just predicted that there will be a Tesla monopoly in the electric vehicle market, but that's actually not his hope, because the reason he likes to open up his IP, like patents, to other and technology to other automakers, is to actually help promote the push towards sustainable energy. Now, I struggle to determine whether or not that's noble for the cause for green energy, or if that's anti-competitiveness and anti-capitalism. Maybe it's the perfect blend of both. It's like, hey, we're kicking everybody's butt so much here as charity. How about we just give you our IP? But the reality, too, is the more people transition to EV, the larger the pie of the EV market goes. And so maybe that ends up circling back and being beneficial to Tesla anyway, whether that's in selling Tesla solar panels, selling batteries maybe to other car manufacturers, selling drivetrains to other car manufacturers. Heck, maybe it's licensing the FSD to other car manufacturers, right? So maybe that's the end game. Maybe that's the jaded capitalistic point of view, is that, sure, we'll give you our IP. By the way, when you can't figure it out, we'll sell you our drivetrains, we'll license you our FSD, and we'll make lots of money off of you. Sure, people can drive their Volkswagen built by Tesla. An interesting idea. A lot of reports circulating on how great the Mexico Gigafactory will be for Tesla. It's now being called a genius move by a Bloomberg journalist and a combined Business Insider report, thanks to Mexico's not only lower labor costs, but also its proximity to the United States. Remember, your average hourly wage in Mexico is about $3.50. That's led to a lot of criticism that Elon Musk is basically using slave labor, because when you compare to minimum wages in California or Texas, you're closer to $15 to $20. In such comparisons, you might think, oh dear, that does seem very, very cheap. Is that fair to those folks? And the reality is it actually puts upward price pressure on those wages. It gives Mexican workers in that northeastern region of Mexico pricing power for their wages, and potentially enables them to actually make more money and raise their standards of living. That is, after all, the nature of capitalism. The capitalist saves money, but everybody else also wins. So it's a win-win situation. That's at least the theory. YouGov also now conducted a survey about the impact of Elon Musk's Twitter activity on Tesla's reputation. Now, originally, we have always been thinking that the more Elon tweets, the more he pisses off, either woke people, or not that that's necessarily a bad thing. It's not meant to be a slam. Or liberals, or whatever, people, whatever, right? That has regularly been an argument. Well, for what it's worth, YouGov put together a survey, and they say that while Musk's tweets can generate attention and controversy, they do not seem to have an overall negative impact on Tesla's overall image. The automaker remains popular amongst consumers, and Musk's social media presence continues to be a major driver of publicity for the company. Well, there's your PR department. That's kind of interesting. I mean, it's a good idea. You know what? I mean, we've always made this argument that, yes, it pisses people off, but are they eventually really not going to come buy a Tesla? Well, probably not. Eventually, they'll probably still buy a Tesla. But then again, I think also the people who are the loudest screaming, well, I refuse to buy a Tesla because, Elon is too aggressive, or, I didn't like he said promote Fauci or prosecute Fauci or whatever. I think that those folks would have never bought a Tesla in the first place, which I think is quite interesting, because there are a lot of people who will never buy a Tesla, and they just continue to seek more excuses as to why they won't buy a Tesla. And this just happens to be another one on the list. So maybe that YouGov survey is actually right. I think that's actually quite interesting. Tesla has also now introduced new features called Charge On for Powerwall owners, allowing them to make better use of the excess energy from their solar panels. So basically, here's the scoop, okay? Let me give you the bottom line on how this works. So if you have solar panels on your house and you're burning, 5 kilowatts an hour at your house, maybe that's a little low. Yeah, that's probably low. Let's say you're burning 20 kilowatts an hour and your solar panels are generating 30 kilowatts an hour. Well, now you're using 20 from your solar panels, but you have an excess 10. And so what you do is you roll the meter backwards. The problem is, even though you might be saving energy at a cost of 30 cents a kilowatt hour, especially during the middle of the day when air conditioning is expensive and the time of use rates are up, when you roll it back, you're usually only getting like 1 cent. Like the utility companies do not want to give people large rebates anymore for having these solar panels. Not like they used to. Don't get me wrong. They still do. You get clean energy credits. You get all these state-mandated credits and stuff. But the utility companies don't want to pay you that much for rolling the meter back. So this Charge On for Powerwall owners is actually very interesting because what it does is it's a feature that gives Powerwall owners, which remember you can now buy a Powerwall itself without the solar panel system from Tesla. The Powerwall feature gives owners the option to charge their electric vehicles when their home battery reaches full capacity and solar energy production is still ongoing. This solution not only maximizes energy usage but potentially lowers electricity costs by reducing the need for the grid to power your car during peak periods. It's actually brilliant. I think it sounds like a small feature, but it's actually very, very smart. It's like, hey, charge my car when otherwise I would be rolling the meter back. Like, top my car off when otherwise I'd be rolling the meter back, because that will save you generally more money than rolling the meter back. Now, rolling the meter back, by the way, is also like an old school phrase to the disc meters that actually would spin. We generally don't use those anymore. They're electronic now, so you just kind of get like a backwards arrow. Anyway. Okay, so this, let's see here. The next thing is Tesla on March 14th won a lawsuit against a famous car reviewer and TikTok celebrity known as Boss Kai for damaging Tesla's reputation. Now, there's more to this than me just talking about some random TikToker. Okay, I want to give you what I think this actually means, which is very important. In June of 2022, Tesla sued Boss Kai for infringing on their good name by spreading false rumors through a video posted on his channel and demanded, on the Chinese version of TikTok, and Tesla demanded $720,000 in compensation. In October, the court found the video's content was fabricated. Well, now the person has been sentenced to pay 100,000 yuan. It's the Chinese renminbi. Which divided by 6, what is that? That's like $14,000. It's somewhere around $14,000, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, ordered to compensate that and post an apology on his social media pages and leave them there for at least 90 days. Yeah, it's $14,500. Yeah. Anyway, here's what I think this actually means. And I think it's actually a big deal for Tesla in China. First, it means that you should check out the programs on Building Your Wealth link down below, because we've got that expiring St. Paddy's Day week coupon code, and the price will be going up again. Remember, you get lifetime access, course member live streams, ask questions, join in the fundamental analysis we do every day. I try to do fundamental analysis every single day to keep me sharp, and it's a perfect way to do it together with y'all, answering your questions, fundy analysis, real estate analysis, when people post deals that they have. It's great. Check that out, link down below. Now, the actual implications here, in my opinion, are this is, in my opinion, at least some evidence that China is actually really proud of Tesla. And they are willing to, dare I say, let the normal systems flow rather than potentially rig the court system anti-Tesla, which is kind of what you get a little bit in California. Now, I know I'm being opinionated here, okay, the rigging of in California courts. I feel that way because I've been in them, especially when I ran for governor in California, and they are extremely biased in favor of the governor because eventually those judges want a federal appointment when and if a California governor becomes president. It's all just a hierarchy chain of rigging. Anyway, if there's any place that I would expect that happens the most outside of California, it's in China. And the fact that Tesla China is winning. Not only this lawsuit, but also in another one against the BYD store that was defaming Tesla. And also the publication of information that the protesters who were complaining that Tesla's brakes failed, that no evidence has come out to that claim. Like China is actively spreading this sort of positive news about Tesla China. In my opinion, it's actually a sign that China's actually very proud of Tesla China, and they realize that companies like Foxconn with Apple and other companies are starting to go to India and Taiwan, and China is losing that edge to attract manufacturing, and that's bad for their gross domestic product. Remember, the consumer in China only represents about 1/3 of their economy. That means foreign manufacturing is actually very, very important as a percentage of GDP next to housing. And so I think that China actually has a bias towards encouraging Tesla's developments and Tesla's success, even in competition with BYD. But I believe that because I think Tesla is their poster child of an American company that can get things done quickly, efficiently, and have large margins by operating in China. It is the best made in China ad, in my opinion, you could think of. It's one of the best. I'm sure there are others, but I think it's a fantastic. I mean, maybe next to like Apple, right? Because the Apple iPhone, manufactured or assembled in China. That I think that's fantastic. Those are ads to go to China. So I think this is actually very good. So at the same time, we have apparently this feud between California and Tesla, which is not surprising at all. Apparently, Tesla was on the verge of receiving around $4 or $5 million. No, actually, it was only 1.6. 1.6 per project. Okay. Tesla was going to receive a few $1 million to build 4 large supercharger projects. It was going to total about 420 stalls, of course. Anyway, Drive Tesla has informed California that they're no longer wanting California's money. In a letter, Tesla's lead explained that the program was unnecessarily cumbersome because the program, led by the California Clean Energy Commission, required multiple point-of-sale methods, including the opportunity to physically swipe your credit and debit cards, in addition to the mobile app payment options that are offered by Tesla now. Well, Tesla's like, look, we're not putting terminals on all of our superchargers. We don't do that. We use an app. That's it. And so Tesla's like, yeah, no, you guys aren't worth it. Bye. He was just another example of bureaucrats in California making things harder than they actually ought to be. But then again, that's California for you. Visions that sound good, but in practice are quite ridiculous. It's California for you, though. So anyway, check out those links down below. Get yourself life insurance in as little as 5 minutes by going to metkevin.com/life. Make sure you get up to 12 free stocks by going to metkevin.com/free and sign up for Webull. Link down below, metkevin.com/free.